Passionate, driven, enthusiastic, euphoric. This is who we are as entrepreneurs. But how we leverage these incredible attributes to dream and build businesses that scale and grow is what this podcast is all about. Hello, I'm attorneypreneur Josh Brown, and welcome to Franchise Euphoria. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Franchise Euphoria. Josh Brown here, your humble yet excitable host. Just love doing what I do. Love helping people in the franchise space, helping entrepreneurs grow their business. It's so awesome to be able to do this on a daily basis. And thank you all for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about something that certainly gets me excited, and that is food. But specifically, we're going to talk about 3 things to know before you franchise your restaurant. As we all know, franchising runs across every sector of our economy, but it's particularly popular in the food industry. And if you are a restaurant owner, you probably already know that there are a couple of different models for business growth. In the restaurant space, franchising tends to be one of the more popular models. From fast food joints to fine dining experiences, a lot of our favorite restaurants utilize the franchise model to grow. But what do you need to know before you franchise your restaurant? Let's be honest, franchising can be scary. Deciding to franchise your restaurant is a big decision that takes a lot of time, money, and commitment. As a restaurant owner, there are a lot of unknown elements that might keep you from entering the franchise space. Some people may be uneasy about the prospect of giving up control over a business or brand that they've worked so hard to build. Some may be worried that they will be unable to run a successful franchise system. Others might just be afraid to step into a field they are unfamiliar with. In today's podcast, I'm going to cover the 3 things you should know before you franchise your restaurant in order to hopefully ease some of these fears. So what are they? Number 1, working with a knowledgeable attorney is going to be absolutely invaluable to you. Number 2, clearly defining your processes and procedures will make franchising a lot easier. And number 3, operating multiple locations before you franchise may help you work out problems with your business model. Number 1, working with a knowledgeable attorney. I cannot overstate the value of working with somebody who actually knows what they are doing in the franchise space. The benefits of working with a franchise lawyer come from both the knowledge the attorney has of the legal requirements of a franchise system and from the attorney's own experiences within the franchise arena. The knowledge attorneys have of legal requirements is a fairly obvious benefit of working with an attorney. But not every attorney has knowledge about the franchise space. For example, franchisors are required to complete various registrations and legal documents before they can connect with franchisees. Being able to ensure that your new franchise is operating legally is one of the reasons that working with an attorney who has familiarity with franchise systems is so important. Working with an attorney who has experience is also beneficial. Attorneys who practice in this area will be better equipped to help you avoid common pitfalls or mistakes based on their prior experiences. They will also be able to provide you with insights and feedback on things like whether you're ready to franchise your business in the first place and how to get your franchise off on the right foot. So if you're seriously considering turning your restaurant into a franchise, or for that matter, any business into a franchise, I really strongly encourage you to talk to a knowledgeable attorney who you trust. There should be somebody in your local area, or you can reach out to anyone who you know of or who you get a referral to. Building that relationship can be an important first step towards running a successful franchise. Number 2, clearly defining your processes and procedures will make franchising a lot easier. In order to successfully use the franchise business model, you have to have clearly defined processes and procedures. After all, part of your responsibility as a franchisor is going to be teaching new franchisees how to operate their business. Unfortunately, there are a lot of restaurant owners who sincerely believe that they have clearly defined processes, when the reality is they don't. So, how do you know if you fall into this category? First, you need to take a hard look at your role in the business. Could your business operate without you? If the answer is no, you're probably not ready to franchise your business because you haven't created the appropriate processes and procedures that detail what to do when you aren't there. It is important to remember that when you become a franchisor, your role within the business will change dramatically. You will no longer be in charge of the day-to-day activities of your one location. Make sure that you have processes and procedures in place to make this transition as painless as possible. After really another indication that you do not have clear processes and procedures is a high staff turnover rate. If you are constantly having to fill staffing positions, especially managerial positions within your restaurant, take a hard look at what you're doing and how your operations manual is laid out. In this particular scenario, it is a real possibility that your employees are leaving due to a frustration with the way things are done. In general, employees like to have clear expectations and guidelines to follow. They also like to know that what they are doing matters and that they are doing their job correctly. Your processes and procedures should provide this information to your employees in a concise and easily understood manner. In order to facilitate your transition into the franchise space, make sure you have clearly, and I mean crystal clearly, defined processes and procedures. In this vein, take some time to look over or even create your operations manual and ensure that adequate attention is given to every aspect of your business. Doing this will make franchising your restaurant easier in the long run. Number 3, operating multiple locations before you franchise may help you work out problems with your business model. Lastly, operating more than one location may help you work out some of the problems within your business model. In general, I believe operating multiple locations before franchising your restaurant is essential to helping you figure out what works well and what doesn't. If you only have one location, there's virtually no way for you to know whether other locations will work well. In other words, you can't test out the scalability without having multiple locations. This can become problematic when you're drafting the documents that will eventually get you into the franchise arena. How do you know what the size parameters for a new building should be? How are you going to know which geographic features help your business? How will you know how to replicate any of the other factors that may have helped the success of your restaurant up until this point? Operating multiple locations is one of the best ways to figure out these details. Furthermore, if you only operate one location, how do you know that your business model will be profitable at other locations? It's important to have an understanding of your profit margins before you franchise so that you can set reasonable expectations for fees or other expenses that you will require franchisees to pay. Opening multiple locations is one of the best ways to figure out these kinds of details. As a franchisor, you will have to figure out all of these details as well as many others. Each time you open a new location, you learn about problems that may arise and how to correct them. In the end, this knowledge and experience makes you a better franchisor because you've been able to work out a number of problems beforehand. I can't tell you the number of franchise systems that I work with where through the process we're working out additional issues and working through additional problems that they are having either within their business, within their franchisees, or within their licensing structure. It's so important to do that because as you add more people to your franchise systems, the cracks in the franchise model or the cracks in your systems are going to become more and more evident the more people you have. You want to really pay particular attention to those cracks and seal them up as quickly as possible. Once again, hope you enjoyed this episode. I do have a valuable resource on my website if you are considering turning your business into a franchise, and that's called Things to Know Before You Franchise. Just hop on over to indyfranchiselaw.com. That's INDY franchiselaw.com, and you will see that resource on the home page. Thanks again, and happy franchise. If any of the information you heard today you found meaningful, helpful, head on over to indyfranchiselaw.com. That's INDY franchiselaw.com. I've got a couple really cool white papers One is what to know before you franchise your business. So if you're out there thinking about franchising your business and found today's episode helpful, go ahead to indiefranchiselaw.com and check out that free resource. Additionally, if you're thinking about buying a franchise, I've got a great resource on what to know before you buy a franchise. So head on over to indiefranchiselaw.com, INDY, franchiselaw.com.
Thanks for being with us today on the Franchise Euphoria podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go to iTunes and provide a review. Also, please remember that although Josh Brown is a licensed and practicing attorney, nothing contained in this podcast should be construed as legal advice, because it is not. The information contained in this podcast is general and educational in nature, and none of it should be relied upon as legal advice. That being said, if you have questions for Josh and would like to contact him, please email him at josh@franchiseeuphoria.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you tune in to our next weekly episode.